Hey everyone, welcome back. I am going to be attempting to make mozzarella cheese today or mozzarella cheese today. I am going to try my best. I have never tried this recipe before. However, I am Italian. I grew up eating mozzarella cheese. It is one of my all-time favorite things. I have watched so many people make this cheese, but they've always used store-bought curds. So, me having my dairy cow, as you guys know, having all of this extra milk, I really wanted to make mozzarella cheese. So I've attempted it with rennet and citric acid and all of the things, and it never comes out right. So I looked it up, I talked to some people, and they said you have to use a culture. So I went online, I bought that culture. It came a few weeks ago. I have yet to attempt it, so I'm going to do my best today. It's a super long process. I'm going to try to take you guys with me. This is going to be unedited. You know I don't know how to do that, so completely unedited. I'm either going to fail or succeed, and you guys are going to see it. So I hope you enjoy. Come along with me when we both attempt to make mozzarella cheese. Okay, cool. So I wish you guys could see what my phone looks like set up like this. It's quite hysterical. However, I'm going to do my best to kind of show you what I'm going to do. I have to strain, if you guys can see it. So there is a cream line on this milk. So this is the cream line. I'm going to use this finger because I lost nails. So this one just looks prettier. Anyway, so the cream line on this milk, this is where the cream is separated from the milk naturally. So I want to use whole milk for this mozzarella recipe. So I'm trying to say it normal, not like an Italian mozzarella, so people don't get confused. Anyway, I'm going to strain some of this off because even though I want to use whole milk, my Jersey cow produces so much cream. I actually don't need all of it. So I am going to make some butter from some of it, and I'm only going to use 2 gallons. So this, like, I don't know, 3/4 of a gallon. I don't know what you call that. I'm going to strain all of the cream off of this guy. We're going to put it in this bowl, and I'm going to save it later for making butter. Yeah. So, if you guys didn't know, I'm still sick. Still not feeling well, but I have to use this milk. So, it's super fun having a dairy cow. I really, I love her more than anything. I really enjoy having fresh milk, but it is kind of a pain in the butt, I'm not gonna lie. So I have to use this milk within, I try to do 3 days, especially if I'm making mozzarella. Like I've told you before, my mozzarella was not successful the last time, but still you wanna use as fresh milk as possible. So I'm gonna try to do this in a way, I just use a ladle. I'm sure there's better ways to do this, but I haven't found ones. I kind of like doing it this way. But anyway, so I love having a dairy cow, and I love having a Jersey. They are awesome. They produce this super thick, look at that, luscious cream. Okay, 2 full gallons, all mixed and incorporated, and then the cream. Usually I get a lot more than this, but this is gonna be whipped into butter. Cream's gonna go back in the fridge for now. This is going to go in our pot. I'm gonna take a water break, and then I will meet you when this is in the pot. So I told you guys I'd be honest. This is not gonna fit 2 gallons. So I gotta go in the basement and find the bigger pot. Hold on. All right, again, guys, I can't make this stuff up. So, yuck. We're going to get rid of that. So, if you guys don't know, acidity takes that right off. So, I have some junk kind of tomato broth. I'm going to stick that in there, boil it for a couple minutes, wipe that out, and then we'll put the milk in. So I'm gonna do that and meet you when I'm putting the milk in. Okay, so I finally have the milk in here. 2 gallons, fits perfect. I have my stove on to low. So I use a gas stove, so it's on low. It's gonna slowly come up to 90 degrees or 95. I can't remember. But anyway, I also have water on because I'll need hot water for later, so might as well get that started now. I forgot, I didn't show you guys what I'm using. So, traditional mozzarella, that's what I wanna use. Minus the calcium chloride because I have raw milk, so I don't need that. See, it calls for pasteurized. I won't use that. Everything else is to the key, except I'm using 2 gallons of milk, so I'm using 1 full pack of this. And then everything else is normal. So I am using kind of this recipe, kind of also the recipes on the packets and stuff that I've gotten. But this book is super duper cool. I got this book for my wedding, actually. I asked for it. And I have not opened it in 3 years. So, first time for everything. But yeah, okay. So, this is the recipe we're going with. First things first, get the milk slowly heating to 95. Oops. Over low heat, should take about 20 minutes. So, I will show you. Aha, found it. Okay, so, if it would focus, there we go. Temperature gauge. So, this handy dandy little thing is super neat because it just clicks. If I don't burn myself in the process. All right, it clicks right on, and you can, I want it to be not touching the bottom of the pot. Other way, Samantha. So guys, this is why I let you see my mess. I'm a mess. I can't do this one-handed. Hold on. There we go. Okay. So what I was trying to explain is you don't want it all the way at the bottom because it's not going to read accurate. So I want it like, oops, now that I just messed it up. Okay, I want it like in the middle of that milk. So hopefully it's about here. That's my goal. Okay, so I'm going to let this heat up. Then it has to sit for, pause. Okay, turn off heat. Okay, sprinkle the starter in. Gotta let that hydrate. And then we're going to whisk it. Okay, cover and maintain. So this is where, I don't know how the heck I'm going to maintain 90 to 95 degrees, but we're gonna do our best. I think I'm gonna do a water bath in my sink and add boiling water to it. We'll see. Okay, so I don't really trust this one. Looks like we're at 100, but I want to take this one too. Yeah, see, this is why I don't use the other one. So I'm getting not accurate reads when this one says 100. That's why you always use multiple thermometers. And I hate these stupid metal ones. They stink. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is stir a little. All right, looks like we're not quite there yet. We're holding in the 80s. Okay. Not yet. Okay, so we're holding at about in the 90s. So everywhere I move it, depending on if it's up or down, it's gonna look a little different, but we're in the 90s. So that's what I wanted. So I'm gonna get the starter. I'm gonna drop that in. I did turn the heat off already. So the heat is off. I'm gonna get the starter. We're gonna cover this and I'm gonna put it in the sink. All right, so I'm gonna sprinkle this in. Not very much. Okay, so that's gonna sit and apparently rehydrate for like 5 minutes. So it is 12:04. So at 12:09, I will kind of whisk that in and put it in the sink. Okay, water bath ready. I used hot water, not just from the tap, but I also did a couple cupfuls of the almost boiling water. So I'm gonna stick that in there and then stir this bad boy up. I think that's what you're supposed to do. Okay, so it's been 5 minutes. Now it says to whisk up and down for 20 strokes. Okay, I think that might have been more than 20, but whatever. So I'm gonna take my temp again. Cool, maybe even a little too hot, but hey, it's better than cold. So I'm gonna stick the lid on this bad boy. I'm gonna let this sit for 45 minutes. So lid in our water bath. Timer. All right, 45 minutes on the clock. I am going to clean up as I go because as a culinary teacher, please, please, please always clean as you go. Don't leave a big mess till the end. So I'm gonna do that while this sits. I'm gonna make sure I'm checking this water. I'm going to add some hot water as needed with that other pot. So I'm gonna do that and I will see you guys in 45 minutes. All right, every 15 minutes, I'm gonna check the temperature on this thing. So at the 30-minute mark, I'm going to check the temp again and make sure that I don't need to add more like almost boiling water. So I will bring you guys with me on that one. So I lost track of time, but still feels warm. So let's hope for the best. What am I doing? I'm a mess. Anywho. Okay. Ooh, it's actually hotter. Okay. So that's odd. I don't know what to do if it's hotter. See, this is what nobody tells you. What are you supposed to do? Yeah, I guess I'm gonna leave it cracked and hope that it being around 106 doesn't mess stuff up. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so you'll need a spatula and another cup. We're gonna do a half a teaspoon of rennet and mix that with a half a cup of water and then dump it in. And you are gonna do up and down motions with the spatula. Just a couple times. You don't wanna over stir that milk. It's also supposed to stay between 90 and 95 degrees. Was a little hotter, but that's fine. Here's what the recipe says. All right, sorry guys. I was on the phone, so that last little bit is gonna have to be voiceovered, but so rennet did go in. That was a big spin, almost made me a little dizzy. Rennet went in. Now I have a timer set for an hour. It's going to sit for an hour. Well, I guess now I'm down to a half an hour, so it's gonna sit for a half an hour. I did check the temperature. Temperature is at 93 degrees, so it did go down, but it's still kind of holding in the 90 range. So we're gonna find out together if that being over 100 is gonna mess up the cheese or not. I don't know. So yeah, we're gonna find out. So anyway, when this is done, it has the rennet in it. I'm assuming curd's gonna form. Let's actually look at that. What does the recipe book say? Until curd gives clean break. So hopefully the curd will give a clean break. And yeah, I'll see you when curd forms. Okay, timer just went off. I don't feel like it's like curdy. Like, I don't know. I guess maybe. All right, so it says cut it with a knife. I don't even feel like really a knife is going to cut this, but it says extra long knife, so here we go. Literally nothing's happening. That's cool. I don't feel like it's doing anything. This is why I tell you guys I mess everything up. I don't know. Oh, I mean, it's slightly curdy. Can you see it looks curdy? Okay. All right. Well, so anyway, you're just supposed to cut it and then leave it for another half an hour. So it's still, again, at another half an hour, has to stay at 90 to 95 degrees. So I will come back in a half an hour. Okay. I have no idea how many of you are still watching this. Shut up, timer. But apparently now we're supposed to take this, put it back on the heat, and let it come up to 100-something degrees over a half an hour. How are you supposed to slowly bring it up so that it comes up in a half an hour exactly? What does that even mean? All right, anyway, I hope you guys are still watching this because I'm still doing it, whether you're watching or not. I'm just struggling, but hopefully this is helping someone out there. Okay, I'm going to put my phone down. I'm going to get this thing on a burner and put it on my smallest burner, even though this is a huge pot, and I guess set a timer for a half an hour. Yeah, okay. Okay, so that is on my small burner, and it is on low. So I guess I'm gonna, yeah, okay. So when I designed this house, I didn't design this right. I know we're gonna move past it. It's fine. So I have a teeny tiny little window here. Yeah, to stick my thermometer in. You're not supposed to stir it. It's just supposed to come up to temp, I think. Okay, I'm not full of it. So cut the curd, done. So it was going to release more whey, blah, 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 blah. Okay, over low heat, slowly rise the temperature to 105. 105 exactly. Yeah, that's not even possible. Over 30 minutes. Oh, gently stirring from time to time and frequently checking the temperature, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so yeah, cool. So I have to stir occasionally. Okay, too quickly, the code's wearing blah, blah, blah. I don't know how. Yeah, okay. So again, we got to maintain the temperature. So I guess I'm going to get more water boiling. All right, cool. Okay, timer set. It was at, so, okay, actually though, like if it freaking loads, like you could see curd. So it's better than what I did in the past. Guys, this is why thermometers stink. Like I'm confused if it's hot just because the heat is on. But like, if you're measuring the top, so like that's the top layer. I don't know. And then the bottom, like look, if you touch it to the bottom, see? So it's like, how is the bottom not getting too hot? Yeah, I don't know. This really doesn't make any sense. So what I've been doing is taking it out, and it says to stir it. Why is it blurry? There we go. It says to stir it gently. So I'm stirring it gently. I don't know if breaking the curds apart is bad. I don't know. It's definitely not going to be over a half an hour, I'll tell you that much. Because now it's saying 106. Did you see that? See, but the bottom of the pot's still too hot. But then the top, this is stupid, guys. Okay, so I guess I just have to keep heating it until the top says 105. But then I feel like it should be constantly stirred so the bottom isn't so hot. I have no idea. I want to know how, like, a little old Italian grandma did this in Italy, like, back in the day. How are you doing this? It couldn't have been this difficult. So, yeah. All right. So, I'm going to do that part because my phone's not happy with this. So, I'm going to do that whole thing, get this all messed with, and then I'm going to stick it back in the boiling water bath and show you guys that. This is going to be the longest video ever. I'm sorry. So, I got it to 103. Not even 10 minutes has gone by. I don't know how you're supposed to stretch that out, but yeah. So, all of the curd has sunk to the bottom. Also, don't know if that's a bad thing. Not sure. It doesn't say anything. So, this is the problem with recipe books, guys, or recipes online. They don't tell you, oh yeah, that's normal or that's bad. They don't say anything. So hopefully for the people who have struggled with this as much as I have, I really hope this video helps you guys. And I really hope that we succeed. And I can tell you that doesn't matter, but we're going to find out. So I guess I'm still, so what I've been doing is I've been turning the heat off, pulling it out from under my weird thing, stirring it, taking the temp, putting it back. It was at 103 last time I did that, literally 2 minutes ago. I put the heat back on low, and I'm kind of letting it sit there, and then pulling it back out, stirring it a little bit, and trying to get it to that 105 temp. I did turn this water back on, so that's going to be hot because we have to keep this at 105. So I'm going to do the same water bath thing that I did last time, just turning my sink on really, really hot. So I'm just going to do that now. So I'm going to turn that on really, really hot, plug it, and then mix that water with boiling water and see how it goes. All right, guys, here's what my stir looks like. So they went from being like cut cubes to now being like little chunks. No idea if that's good or bad. Nobody says anything about the size of the curds, so hopefully that's okay. We're going to take our temp about in the middle again. All right, so it looks like it's holding at 104. Okay, see the bottom is 106 though. Oh. Maybe? Okay, that's at the bottom. I touched the pot. That's my bad. I shouldn't have touched the pot. What does this top layer look like? All right, I'm going to call that good, and I'm just going to say that's fine. So that didn't take a half an hour. I don't know how it would physically take anyone a half an hour, but let's hope that even though it didn't take a half an hour, that's not a bad thing. So we're going to see. Okay, so I'm calling that done. So it says once you're done with that, you have to stir for 10 minutes with a rubber spatula around the sides. I've already been using this wooden spoon basically the whole time. I don't want to dirty another utensil. I feel like most people would feel that way. So I don't know why it has to be a rubber spatula. I'm just going to use my wooden spoon and I'm going to gently stir. I'm not going to stir for 10 minutes because why the heck do you need to stir for 10 minutes straight? I don't know. You could definitely see that there's curds in here. See? They look like they lumped together maybe a little bit. I don't know, guys. The recipe really doesn't tell you very much. It doesn't tell you what it's supposed to look like, what it's supposed to be like. I think I should create a recipe book for people who actually struggle, and so that we know what things look like and what could go wrong, because yeah, It's definitely not perfect. I don't know if this is good, if this is bad, if this is already screwed up. I have no idea. But so apparently you're supposed to do this and then I think maybe drain curds. I don't know. We're going to go read. Okay, so we are at this part. See, rubber spatula, gently stir 10 minutes. I didn't do 10 minutes. I did maybe 5. Maintaining the temperature, we're going to let the curds rest for another 15 minutes. And they're supposed to sink to the bottom. At least it tells you that. Okay, so I'm going to get the pot in our water bath again and let it sit. Okay, in water bath, it says 105.4, so that's good. And 15-minute timer on. I'll see you in 15 minutes. Okay, so it's been 15 minutes. Everything looks normal. The curds on the bottom. But my next question is a little tricky. Let me show you what the recipe says. Okay, so line a colander with a damp, I don't even know what this is, butter, something, yeah, I'm not even trying to pronounce that. I don't know what it is. I don't have one of those. I don't know what that is. So I'm just going to use a cheesecloth. Set it over another pot. Scoop the curds into with a slotted spoon. Let drain 15 minutes. Okay, reserve the whey. So my question is then, why can't I just dump the whole pot into a cheesecloth and keep the whey? But then it says return the drained curds, into the original pot. So, place it in a water bath. So is the pot, guys, I'm so confused. Is the pot empty with just the, why? Is the pot empty with just the curds, or is it going back in the whey or back in water? I'm looking this up. Hold on. I love the internet. All right, internet says that they go back into whey and sit in a hot water bath. So then why do you have to drain them to begin with? I don't understand. Whatever. So the point is they're supposed to be drained and then they have to sit in a block, in their own whey for 2 hours. So I'm going to get them drained and then I guess we're going to put them back in the pot and then I'll see you in another 2 hours. Okay, so I have the curd in here. It literally looks like ricotta. But anyway, so this needs to drain for 15 minutes. I thought that this little thing would do it. Like I thought it would sit high enough. I mean, you can see it's dripping a little. So I'm gonna let that drain for 15 minutes. I have the whey. I did save that. I don't know if you saw, but this is why I need to have this type of thing. So anyway, I drained this using that into this pot, but this pot was too small and it overflowed. So I lost some of the whey, but it's fine. This is still at like 104, I think. Awesome. So it's got to stay at this temperature. So I was just like, well, why would I let it cool off? So I'm going to put it back in a warm water bath. And then once that drains, I'm going to put that curd back in and then keep it at that temperature for 2 hours. So it's 3 o'clock now. During those 2 hours, I'm going to get dinner done and a whole bunch of other things. So I'm going to let this drain for 15 minutes and then I'll pick you guys back up after that. Okay, so we're at the time where this is still wet, like stuff's still coming out, but shut up, timer. But the timer's going off, so it says to put it back in here for 2 hours. And the temperature has gone down a little. It's 101. I guess I should probably heat it up a little bit more. But I don't know if this is supposed to be like more mushed. It smells fermented. So, I don't know. I'm going to heat this way up a little bit. And then I guess we will go from there. I'm going to stick the curd in after it's heated, I guess. Okay. Heating, I guess, was not the best option because now it is at 112. So now I have to wait for it to cool down to put the whey in. Starting to wonder why people do this. Yeah. Hope you're still watching. Oops. All right. So I'm going to stick the whey in the pot now. So this is what it looks like. Just kind of, that's cool. Anywho, this is what it looks like. It's just kind of like a block of cheese. It's breaking. Rip. Okay. Okay, so I was just outside. Okay, that feels really hot, I think, because I'm cold. But I was just outside. I was helping do the animals and everything. I did check the temp of this before I went out, and it was good. That was probably about a half an hour. We're sitting at an hour right now. Okay, so it's at 101. We do definitely, okay, 102. Okay, so what I'm going to do, because it's at 101 and we want it to be around 102 to 105, I'm going to drain this water, even though it feels really hot. I'm going to drain this water and put in more like boiled hot water. So I had hot water on the stove. It's still pretty hot. I'm going to do that. So I'm going to dump some of this water. I'm just going to do it, sorry, with you guys. So this definitely feels pretty warm. I'm not going to dump all of it. I'm going to leave some of it. Okay, so about that. And then I'm going to add the rest of that water. Once it boils, I'm going to add it to here and then leave it for about another hour and check it again. Okay, so 2 hours have gone by and I have a little bit left. So it says that you were supposed to test the pH with pH strips. I'm not going to do that. I saw another recipe that said that you can take a little piece of curd and put it in your really, really hot water and see how it stretches. So that is what I'm going to do. So I have the water heating up. Still put my finger in it. It's not hot enough yet. So that's going to get heated. I think it says to like 170, 180. That's really, really hot. Yeah, so I'm going to let that heat. And then I'm going to see if this little thing stretches, the little piece of curd. Okay, so little thing of water. Put the curd in there. It's like just enough to kind of submerge it. I think I need a little bit more. There we go. All right. Let that kind of twirl, heat up really good. Hopefully this works. I think it was supposed to. Kind of says that it was like supposed to melt. And it did not do that. So, like the curds in here, like it's at the bottom, but it still feels like I stuck my hand in there before, and it still kind of felt like it was gonna like not fall apart. So, a little worried about that, but we'll see. I also don't think this water is hot enough, but it definitely looks like it wants to kind of be stretchy. I'm gonna call that good. We're gonna try it. Okay, recipe says we're gonna put the curds in a warm strainer and we're gonna let them drain for a couple minutes. Then we're gonna put them on a cutting board and cut them. See, this is where I see an issue. I don't think that Yeah, I have an issue with that. But anyway, then we're gonna put them in a stainless steel bowl. I don't have a stainless steel bowl big enough, so I'm gonna use a ceramic bowl. And then we're going to put a very, very, very hot water onto those curds. So it says wear heat resistant gloves. I don't have those either. So we're gonna work with 2 wooden spoons and try not to burn myself. We'll see. It then also says transfer to an ice bath. This was my biggest stainless steel bowl. So yeah, that's where our ice bath is gonna go. I have my strainer that is getting nice and warm in this warm water. This is about to be a fail. I feel it, but I'm hoping not. We'll see. Okay, strainer. Little pot under it so that I can keep this away. So it didn't form big chunks. Yeah, see, there's like still pieces that didn't like melt. So that's what I don't know. Like, is that bad? I have no idea. I need some like, okay, this is what it looks like. Exactly the same as before. See, this is what nobody tells you. Nobody shows you what this is supposed to look like. So apparently you're supposed to put this on a cutting board and cut it. I'm just gonna rip it. Like, cool. I'm gonna rip it and put it in my bowl. Because truthfully, I don't trust any of my wood cutting boards to be that freaking sterile. So it says into pieces, so it kind of lumped together, but like it also kind of didn't lump together. So I don't know. Yeah, okay. So cool. So I'm gonna put this in my pile of dirty dishes. All right, this water is definitely very, very hot. I'm not gonna stick my finger in there. Let's take the temp of it. I'm gonna rinse my hands off. Okay. Oops. Beautiful. Perfect. Okay, cool. I'm going to dump this over the curds. All right, I hope that you could see that. All right, people, hot water going in. Okay, it says just enough to cover it. Little extra for good luck. Okay. Show you what that looks like. Literally looks like nothing. Hot water with cheese. Okay. So, I really wish you guys could see how you're set up. But anyway. Extra long wooden spoons. Ooh, it's definitely melting. This is when I'm like, does it form into a ball? Like, what's it supposed to do? Okay, recipe book says, pour them over curds. Work into a ball, kneading and shaping it in the hot water. Once the curds have formed a ball, lift out of the water and stretch. Okay, all right, cool. We can do that. We got this. I have faith. I have faith. We can form a ball. I'm not truthfully sure about putting my hands in here, but it's fine. I think I could put my hands in there at some point. Not yet. Definitely not yet. All right. Hope that you can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm using both the spoons to form it into a ball. It's definitely forming into something that looks almost reminiscent of a ball, to be quite honest. I'm honestly quite proud of how it looks. It looks quite good, not lying. Okay, so it's like melting and gooey and doing all the things. I also don't know when the salt's supposed to go in this process, but I love some salty mozzarella. So I'm gonna try to incorporate as much salt as possible whenever that does, but it says that you're supposed to just brine it in salt water. No. We got to do more than that. All right, why do I feel like this is not hot enough? No, it's definitely hot. That's definitely warm. It's definitely hot. Okay, I'm gonna get the salt out. Maybe we could start salting in this process. Let's go, peoples. Salt! Okay, cool. Oh, just all natural sea salt. I usually use Himalayan salt, like in my daily life. However, when you make cheese and you use pink Himalayan salt, it looks a little silly. Oops, that's getting stuff on the floor. And that's working it into. All right. I don't feel like our water is hot enough. I just kind of don't. Oops, wrong burner. Okay, I put the water back on. I mean, it's getting somewhat stretchy, right? Somewhat stretchy, right, guys? I just don't know how stretchy. It says stretch and fold a couple times, and then you fold it back onto itself. So I don't know. I don't feel like our water was hot enough here, to be honest. I feel like it should have been like boiling water. Because that's not getting stretchy like you see in all the thingies, you know? But I don't want to do it like too much. Because that's one thing you guys always told me. We don't want to do it too much. There we go. That's getting some stretch. We're stretching it. Guys, I'm sorry. This videoing is absolutely awful. All right. Here's where we're gonna burn my hands. I'm ready. Hoo hoo hoo, warm. Okay. All right, I want 2 balls. So I'm gonna do that. So you're supposed to pinch, move towards the middle, and making a smooth, elastic consistency. So I'm just working this with my fingers, moving it towards the middle. It's like making a pizza dough or like a bread roll, right? So I'm gonna say like this, because that looks pretty elastic to me, right? I don't know what that is, but there's something on it. Okay, anywho, that looks pretty elastic to me. I'm gonna try to pinch off my insides right now. Because I feel like my ball is opening. So I'm trying to get it hot. This water is definitely very hot. Would not recommend to a friend. Please get gloves, people. Get the gloves. Just do it. I'm a weirdo and I'm like, I don't want rubber in my balls of mozzarella. But it's hot. It is definitely hot. Okay. So here's what my finished ball looks like. I wish I salted this. That was stupid. So yeah, should have salted it as I was doing it. That's my bad. Again, I'm gonna stick it back in here for a hot sec. I want this bottom to like form. See how it's like kind of still bumpy? Whatever. I'm gonna call that good. We're calling that good, guys. All right, in the ice bath she goes. Say a little prayer, somebody. Okay, ice bath. I'm gonna learn. We're gonna salt this one. Okay, water, I think you're good. Okay. All right, ready for some salt extravaganza? Holy moly, that was probably a lot, but whatever. Okay, okay. I probably just washed all the salt off. I'm done. Okay, okay. All right, so let's try to make this a cohesive, beautiful ball of cheese. So again, working it. I have salt on my hands. I'm gonna stick some salt in there. Working it, making it a nice elastic consistency. Okay, well, I don't think I messed it up as much as I did the last time when I made a different recipe, so that's a good thing. I think if anything, it'll taste edible as long as I, you know, don't mess it up too much. But I think this is sometimes where I fail, is like with the shaping it. I feel like I almost, God, that's hot. Like my shaping isn't right. Like I'm like, oh, it kind of, I make it taste like rubbery almost, if that makes sense to you guys. You know what I mean? Okay. All right, so stick that back in there. It doesn't say to stick it back in, by the way, and like seal up your holes. It's supposed to be like freaking like hot enough or whatever that it's supposed to like seal on its own. I don't know. I have no clue, guys. We're doing this rogue. We're going rogue. But anywho, so ball number 2. It looks like mozzarella. Hopefully it's somewhat incorporated in there. This water was very hot. It was at 170 degrees. So, oh God, I gotta sneeze. All right, in the water. Cold water it goes. Okay. Okay. Here they are, sitting in our ice bath. That's the first one. This is the second one. I like this hole better. I'm gonna try to slice into this guy and see. We'll see. It's cutting quite. Oh, bless you. All right, I'm not mad about it. Okay, it's better. All right, I don't call this a fail. I think we did okay. Hopefully you enjoyed that. I don't think it's the best mozzarella I've ever had. I would definitely not put it up against any of my Italian ancestors at all. However, wasn't a fail. It'll be great on pizzas. It'll be great on all of the things that we make. It'll be great frozen. It'll be great shredded. Definitely not the best fresh, but I'm really happy with it, and it came out way better than the last recipe. So thanks for coming along. Hope you guys learned something. Hope you didn't hate too much all of my mistakes that I made, but catch you on the next one.